Welcome to the Ultimate Fantasy Locker Room, starring Rocky DiStefano, Bill Pasquale, Delano Williams, and Mark Mullen, with featured guest former NFL pro Antone Davis. Fantasy football, real results.
Welcome to another episode of the Ultimate Fantasy Locker Room. I kind of fumbled over what to say there.
A little choked up there,
yeah,
buddy.
A little choked up. Was watching a Hallmark movie the other night, and the memory came back to me. So
please don't cry here.
Was it the Waltons?
I like the Waltons. That's probably too. Well, you watched the Waltons?
No, I didn't watch the Waltons. I'm not that old guy.
Good night, John Boy.
I think you are.
No, I'm not.
Mark, did you watch?
No, I don't even know what that is.
I did not.
The Waltons?
No.
You guys are liars.
No.
We're not lying. You got about 15 years on Mark, right? Almost 20 on me.
I don't know how much. Mark, how old are you?
I am 42.
Yeah, no. So I'm exactly 10 years on Mark, and probably
15 on me.
Yeah. So I could be your dad.
I'm gonna take.
You want to be?
Well, no.
I need a benefactor.
I mean, you'd be a lot taller if you're.
I wouldn't. That's fair, and I have a lot more money too.
I got to tell you, I was flipping through the channel the other night, and
Just leave it alone.
I came upon one of the greatest football movies of all time.
Invincible.
No. Although that's a good movie.
The Longest Yard.
No.
The original or the
Original.
The original is good. Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. See, now you know that. That's same time as.
Because my
Waltons.
father put me onto that. He didn't have me watching a Walton.
So hold on. So I don't want to interrupt you, but how about this fun fact? So for The Longest Yard, the body double for Burt Reynolds, was my head coach in high school.
Oh, really?
Tennessee, yeah.
And he looked like him.
Bobby McKinnon looks just like him.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't know you played high school ball in Tennessee.
Only 1 year. It was kind of like a prep school, so it was kind of a tweener year.
Yeah, because you were in Georgia for most of high school.
Yep.
So, Antone, if I remember the story you told me, you were not super tall as a freshman, right?
Correct.
And then you shot up. So, what
Yeah.
did you, what happened? What did you eat to make you get that tall?
Everything.
Bill wants to know.
Everything. So seriously, it was one of those cases where, I was probably in the ninth grade, 5'11", 175 pounds. In the 10th grade, I got a job in the ninth grade. In 10th grade, I was 6'5", 305.
Wow.
So
That did not happen to me. I was 5'11" as a freshman, and I stayed about 5'11", 6, right at 6 foot.
but I attribute all of that to peanut butter.
Really?
Peanut butter,
Peanut butter.
Oh.
Yeah. Some of the largest white-tailed deer in America in Georgia. And what do you think they eat every day?
Peanut butter.
Peanuts.
So you need to come out with a brand of peanut butter to sell the
What would it be
short
called?
guys.
Grow, man, grow.
I'm going to think about this. I'm going to think about what we need to call your peanut butter, but I could see it, man.
That's strange.
Yeah. Anyways, the movie I happened upon was Draft Day. Now, for a Browns fan,
That was cool.
yeah, because prior to last year, we don't really win on the field. So you have to win in the offseason or the draft. So it kind of,
Which one? I can't remember draft day.
It's
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. He's a GM of the Browns, and everybody wants him to take this one quarterback who's the number one quarterback.
Awesome name, by the way. What was his name? Bo?
Bo, yeah, but
Bo some.
yeah. Anyways,
Real country boy.
He finds out something about him, and he basically does all these maneuvers.
I remember.
Yeah, well, he doesn't.
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I
he
don't
finds
remember.
out that
He doesn't.
none of his teammates showed up to his birthday party.
That's right. Yeah, and he discovers a coach told him that he gives him the playbook to read, and then they quiz him on the playbook, and he looks to see if they've studied it or not studied it.
Yeah.
And if they say, I didn't get a chance to look at it, okay, at least they're honest. If they study it, good.
Yeah.
But he puts $100 bill at the end of the book to see, and Bo...
If they give it back.
Yeah, and Bo lied.
It. Yeah, he lied about
kept it and lied.
Well, here's the thing. Let me wrap. It's a lot
movie.
like, have you seen Trouble with the Curve?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean,
You don't
sports
get out
movies.
much.
Mark, what are you doing?
I don't know, man. I got 3 younger kids. It's
Rudy?
usually
I mean,
it's usually Disney movies at this point.
Trouble with it's a lot like
Well, I
that.
thought we
And
were in the trust tree.
but the thing is with this movie is first time I watched it, I loved it because it has all they pay the licensing, so they have all the teams.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, they're in the facilities, they're in the offices. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, really?
And it's fun for an NFL fan. You love it. Second go through, it's a little far fetched how he makes this trade, and
It's beautiful.
it's like it's pretty ridiculous. Like he trades away the first pick, then he gets it back. I mean, he does some stuff that would probably only happen in a movie, so it takes a little bit away from it. But it is a cool movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Browns fan, it's pretty awesome.
No,
Yeah.
what he did was very similar to what happened with Jimmy Johnson in Minnesota when Jimmy Johnson.
That's
built
fair,
a
but that was like a once in a lifetime thing.
yeah, but that's
Yeah.
what it's based on.
Yeah,
Boom.
that's fair.
Anyways, magic. So
Yeah, I have to bone up on some some of these sports movies.
Please don't bone up around us.
There's one called Rudy. You know to check out, son.
You know, I had to watch Rudy for it was in college and it was for a class. That's the only reason why I actually
And they watched it
Rudy.
every day.
if you don't cry at Rudy,
Mark
little
watched
bit.
Rudy the night before he asked his wife on a date.
Rudy, come on. All right. So what else is new? We have Antone back again. It's a big deal here. 2 weeks.
Great to
Florida's
have him
good,
here.
man.
Yeah.
Florida's warm.
Florida is warm.
We're
Right?
trying to get you to move back.
It needs to get hotter.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to go to the beach.
No, you don't.
I'm waiting on the beach. No,
Yeah.
I don't. I've lost 14 and a half pounds, buddy. I need to get to the beach.
I love how often Phil's voice cracks now. He's definitely
It's the weight loss.
I'm hitting my second puberty.
It's the weight
Everything's
loss.
growing. Everything.
That explains the heat flashes.
Phil remembers the first puberty.
I sweat a little bit.
Thought he
in
was
here.
growing a hair and then it pissed on him. So,
I'm just happy I'm still growing.
anyways.
Oh,
All right. So what are we going to talk about today, guys?
what are we going to talk about?
We're talking about the NFC North,
The greatest division in football,
the black and blue division. I don't know if it's the greatest division. I think the NFC East probably is.
hands down, greatest division. in
No, it's
football.
not. We have more championships than anybody.
But we have better teams.
Do you?
Yeah,
Ooh.
all
Yeah.
of them.
I don't have
The
a.
Lions, who
I don't have a
went
dog
0
in this
16.
fight.
Well, I think
The Bears, who haven't had a legitimate quarterback ever.
who finished. Who
Hey,
finished?
you know,
last
who
in the
was the
NFC?
last legitimate Brown Bears
I
quarterback?
don't know. Why don't you tell us? Jay Cutler, I guess, for the first 2 years?
No,
Yeah,
I refuse to
No,
accept
Jay Cutler was a
Jay
legitimate
Cutler
quarterback.
actually put
That's
up
not fair.
decent. He put up decent numbers. You can call him and
And he's
again,
an awesome guy on reality TV. Have you ever watched him?
He's
pretty
actually
funny.
he's funny. You see,
Vince McMahon, is
He's
that
like
who we're
he's a
going back
cowboy
to?
now. So
It's
Jay
not
Cutler.
Vin- that's the
Oh, not
it's WWE. Rocky. He actually
Jim
he's your
McMahon?
doppelganger.
Vince McMahon, really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I got to look at him.
That's
now.
funny.
I never watched
So
wrestling.
Jay Cutler's a cowboy now. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh my God!
what
dude.
do you mean?
The 10-gallon hats.
Oh
all
yeah,
of this,
yeah.
like,
He has
YouTube
that.
stuff.
He
He's-
has llamas. And, He's funny. He's legitimately a funny guy.
Yeah.
So-
he's much funnier and actually has a personality. You would have never known like
Yeah.
while he was in the league because he was so apathetic. I don't know if you ever saw that. There was a website dedicated to how apathetic his looks were. It was called Smoking Jay, and it would just be him in situations and
That's
they
his
throw a
nickname.
cigarette in his
yeah,
mouth.
smoking Jay Cutler.
Oh, he
Smoking
smoked,
Jay
really?
Cutler.
No,
he
they just
didn't.
threw his cigarette in his mouth in press conference.
I was going to be impressed if they did.
but he's funny. But, yeah.
Anton, who did you, I know you had I'm blanking on your quarterback,
I had
Played for the Packers.
Randall
right?
Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham. Yeah,
But who was it in Green Bay?
it was still Brett. Brett was still there when
Yeah,
I was.
Brett
my
had to be
gosh.
there. It was
And then
Brett
you
Terrell.
played Atlanta too, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who was the Atlanta
I'll
quarterback?
tell you
Oh,
what.
wait,
man,
what year was it? What year was it?
96 and 97.
96. Was it Chris Chandler?
Chris Chandler was 97.
Okay.
Jeff George was 96.
George.
Oh my gosh!
I mean,
But
I've
you
had-
think about it. You've
the-
played with some great
The
quarterbacks.
greatest arm in all of quarterback history, Jeff George.
I'll tell you what.
He had a rocket arm.
He had a
I was
rocket arm.
doing a tally of the number of Hall of Famers that I played with,
Yeah.
and it's in between 30 and 40.
That's awesome.
Well, he
No, because they were on the other teams. They were whooping my ass every time. I said with. Maybe I should have said or amongst.
That's fair.
So you used to practice against Reggie White quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Trying to
No.
keep Reggie White out of
Don't.
that guy was a machine.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
amazing
just-
that you're only waking up Monday morning sore after games, just going against Reggie in practice. My God, your week must have.
You're not even thinking about the mental aspect of it. I mean, just knowing that you got to go up and practice against him, and you knowing that he's not going to let up on you. It was
But he was a good guy, though.
Yeah, Reggie was the best. He was. I mean, he was well respected.
The minister of defense.
Yeah, I mean, no question about it.
We tried to get him in Cleveland the year that he signed with Green Bay. Cleveland, I mean, they gave him everything. You can have everything.
And gave him downtown.
Yeah, pretty much.
They probably would have.
And he signed with Green Bay, broke our hearts.
It's a beautiful town downtown, by the way.
Cleveland.
If you like old cities, I mean, it's a great place to
No,
go.
I'm happy to hear you say that because, it is. Cleveland gets it gets a bad rap, but there's a lot of great places to eat.
I think if you originate from the Northeast or just the North, like old cities.
It's in northern town.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice place to go.
Yeah. Anyways.
Sorry about that.
So why don't we get started? And so I think I have the Lions. We've got you
One of
with
the great teams.
Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, another great team.
Got you
It's a
with
shit
the
team.
Packers.
Green Bay.
That's the
Packers.
shittiest of teams.
The best team in the division is Green Bay by far.
That's the
Yeah.
shittiest team
Okay.
on the
He-
planet.
he-
The only
They
good
got a
team.
good quarterback.
It's I have allergies, man. So
I
it gets
think,
post nasal.
If I could punch two people in the planet, if I could punch somebody in the face, two people on the planet in the face, it'd be Aaron Rodgers twice.
Why?
I can't stand Aaron Rodgers.
He's a nice. He's a. Did he?
Yeah,
before
he
we get-
sucked on Jeopardy.
No, he didn't suck.
He sucked on Jeopardy.
He didn't suck.
Just like he does.
He was funny.
in real life.
Do you hear this hate?
He's the greatest.
This is like the
He's the
guy.
greatest quarterback
This is
in
the
the
guy
NFL.
that loses
There's
his
a lot
prom
of
date to the more popular guy talking about that
There's a
guy.
lot of saltiness going on.
That's
over here.
ridiculous. I mean, it's
Aaron Rodgers.
He
He was
was so-
smoking
did you-
Aaron Rodgers according to that Jeopardy episode.
He's smoking when the ball comes out of his hand.
Aaron Rodgers, to me, listen, he's older, yes. I think he's the best
Still,
quarterback
I
in
think
the
he's
NFL.
better than Mahomes. Yeah.
Mahomes
Mahomes more talented at this point, but he's a better all around quarterback. But I will say, real quick, if you didn't watch the clip of Jeopardy, go check it out. At the end of the final Jeopardy, one of the contestants, his final answer was, "Who wanted to kick that field goal?"
Oh,
And it was
geez.
pretty funny. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And Rogers said, I think he said, "That's a great question.
Yeah.
It should be the right answer, but unfortunately, it's not."
Yeah,
So,
Rodgers
it
did
was-
not want to kick.
No, and
I
he's
mean,
not backing down off it either.
No.
Nope.
Anyway, so
Because he's a jerk.
who wants to
And he
get
doesn't
well,
respect anybody.
He's a winner.
I feel like we should let you just kind of simmer a little bit in your saltiness.
You should do the Packers this week.
Yeah. How about if I start with
The
the?
Falcons or something. Just
How about
throw
if I
'em in.
start with the Lions? Okay.
0-16.
The Cowardly Lions.
Let me tell you what.
and could have potentially won the NFC East if they were in that division.
I'm just going to tell you that I
Last year.
actually think that they did better than I realized this free agency. So here's why. Who do they lose? We know they lost Galladay, scary because he's a true number one.
Yes.
Lost Marvin Jones to Jacksonville,
Yes.
right? But they signed, and everybody remember,
Well, you got to remember Stafford too. They traded Stafford to get Goff.
yes. But they signed Terrell Williams. And everybody remember the last year he had before he got injured?
No. Enlighten us.
So he was signed by the Raiders, right?
Another
Yes.
great organization.
But the year previous to being signed had well over 1,000 yards, almost 100 receptions, and several touchdowns.
Oh, yeah. Terrell Williams.
Yeah.
Of Chargers fame.
That's right. He's the forgotten guy because he was injured all of last year. But I think it was a good signing. I like the idea that even though they traded Matt Stafford,
Yeah.
I don't hate Goff. I think Goff in the right system
Can work. Yeah.
can work. He proved it in L.A.
Yeah.
And in Detroit, I kind of see a similar system. Really good running back who catches passes. We know he likes to check down.
Unless it's against Chicago.
Unless-
he,
yeah.
he dropped that.
He was
It was
pretty
like
bad.
his
Good
first
one.
game. of his
Yeah, it was
career.
week one.
Yeah, I mean,
He's got a
You mean
tight
what? You're
end.
giving him a pass on that? He's a professional. He should have
I'm giving
caught
him
it.
a pass on
Detroit stinks. Are we to Chicago yet or what?
oh my God.
I think he's got T.J. Hawkinson, a good tight end, up-and-coming tight end.
Yeah.
I actually like the receiving core, not love it. I think they're going to make a move in the first round, either for a receiver or they're going to shore up their line. But to me, I think this isn't as bad as people think.
I don't think it's bad. Are people talking about it like it's bad? I just think they've been bad.
Well, yeah, they've been bad, but they signed who they bring in, tight end Josh Hill, Jamal Williams from Green Bay, a really solid running back.
A nice backup.
Rashard Perryman to pair with Williams.
Stretch
Got
the
speed
field
there.
if
Yeah.
he could stay on it.
To me, I think they actually did okay. And in addition, they picked up 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick to get rid of Stafford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. I mean, Stafford at this point in his career, I mean, they got a load back for Stafford,
He's
which
got,
was nice.
2 or 3 years left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they unloaded, or no, they got the picks to take on that big contract. But after next year, Goff's dead cap money goes appreciably down. So, really, they got 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick to run with Goff 1 year, and then they can kind of make a decision.
Yeah, I think they have improved. I mean, all joking aside, I think it is a downgraded quarterback. I don't hate Goff either, but, the thing that worries me is the coach. What's the system? I mean, the guy's a little crazy. He's like a mix between like Fred Flintstone and Hulk Hogan. If you've seen his press conference, I mean, he's a little crazy. So, it's just like if you were on that team, on that roster, what would you think? A guy coming in giving that press conference.
So he's Ric Flair then?
Well, I mean,
Ric Flair's like the
have
perfect
you watched it? He
combination
said we're
between.
gonna fall down, and on the way up, we'll bite a piece of their knee off.
Oh, yeah,
that was
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it scares me.
Yeah, I mean,
it
it's a
honestly
little-
scares me. It's like, what is he telling the guys in the room? What do you want them to do to people?
I like the enthusiasm, but
was
the
a little
way
creepy.
he's not very eloquent.
Could have articulated.
And what's
a
the
little
message that he's? Yeah, is it just going to be, a good parallel for me is Rex Ryan, kind of the same, that kind of style, very boisterous.
Yeah.
But Rex Ryan was legitimate defensive mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what Dan Campbell is besides a motivator. I mean, he did have that stint in Miami, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And he's been a motivator, but that would be the only thing that, what's the scheme? Is it going to be a well-coached team or just a motivated team?
And how many games did he coach last year?
I don't.
6, right?
Right, 6.
Didn't they start 0-6 and then they canned them, right?
No. So he
Atlanta-
started 10 then. The new coach that came in.
Yeah, because he was the interim.
Yeah. Atlanta started the season 0-6, right? And that's when they got rid of Campbell?
Yeah, it was early.
Detroit.
Detroit.
You said Atlanta.
Yeah, what are you talking? You talking? Who are you talking about? I think you're a little turned around here, buddy.
Yeah, I think so too.
Dan Campbell you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
He's
But
in
he-
Detroit now.
But he's
Yes.
a new coach now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Atlanta last year.
Yeah, he didn't coach.
No,
Atlanta
you were
last-
thinking about a different coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Dan Campbell, he coached, I think, 7 games or 8 games.
Yeah, after they
whatever it
let go
was.
of Matt Patricia.
Swift actually performed.
He did. But
The
Swift was
offense got
banged
better.
up, though.
Yeah, but the offense got better under Campbell
But
than
they
it was
also
under
did the
Patricia.
same thing in Miami,
Yeah.
and then he wasn't retained.
I think,
I'm not saying he's not going to. It's just a question mark. is what
I
I'm
think,
saying.
we talk about what 3 players would I take? Would I take in fantasy from Detroit?
DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift's number 1.
You got
Hands
John
down.
Stamos on that one.
John Stamos. What? Did we just become best friends?
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift for sure, no doubt. I think he could be a top 5 running back this year between his receptions and his rushing. I actually like Tyrell Williams. I'm going to take a flyer mostly because I think I can get him in one of the later rounds. I think people have truly forgotten about him, but he really had a great couple years with the Chargers.
Is Marvin Jones still in the fold?
He's not.
So you got Marvin Jones and Galladay gone. Yeah,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
there's
So it's a
bunch
clear.
of- yeah.
So it's Perryman and
not a
it's
bad call.
Williams. And I am probably not taking Goff, but I would take TJ. I think TJ is going to be a decent check down. We know Goff likes to check down to his tight end and running back. So those are 3 that I take off Detroit.
I'll save time. I would probably take the same 3.
Yeah. I'm
John
an,
Stamos. What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
I'm an idiot. I was thinking Dan Quinn.
Yes,
when
you
we're
are.
talking about Dan
that's why I
Campbell.
agree.
I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, what, I don't know what I'm.
I agree with you. on
I'm
both.
just happy you said you're an idiot.
Well, you got to atone for your mistakes. That was totally my bad there. So, speaking of Detroit, I think so. 3 players. Swift, obviously, Swift's got to come off the board.
Yeah.
Right. Hawkinson's got to be one of the tier 1.
Hawkinson.
one of the tier 1 tight ends taken off the board, and then you get the 3. I don't know, man. Maybe by default, Goff, just because those wide receivers are a little unproven.
He does not like your Goff pick.
So I'm going Swift, Tyrell, and I'm taking Goff because of the change of scenery phenomenon. I think. Boy, if you don't get fulfilling the shoes of Matt Stafford will be very, very helpful for him. He'll be very conservative.
You know, he had last year had games where he finished as a top 5 quarterback.
Right.
They dominated Tampa. In fact, if you look at the last half of the season, the only team that beat Tampa, and it was like not even a contest, was the Rams. Yeah, he has capabilities.
Yeah.
He's capable.
So, Mark, what about you?
Well,
he said his.
Yeah, I said my three.
Oh.
But, to go back, we highlighted a few weeks ago that Todd Gurley's best 2 seasons came with Goff, where he was a highly targeted running back out of the backfield, as well as getting his carries and getting a lot of yardage. If Swift can produce like that, then you might have something with Goff. Goff might be in the right system because, I don't know that those wide receivers are going to go out and scorch the earth. I think they might be serviceable. Your tight end is going to play at an above average clip. Yeah. And then, if Swift turns out to be what a lot of people are predicting them to be early on in these fantasy drafts, I mean, maybe Goff is a half decent middle tier quarterback. I
think he can be. Yeah.
If you wait late, if you're like the 12th team in your league to take a quarterback and you go Goff, you might have a little something there.
So Tyrell Williams, 16.1 yard average for his entire career per reception. His best year was 69 receptions, 1,059 yards with 7 touchdowns, 15-yard average. He's got the skill. His issue is he couldn't stay healthy in Las Vegas, and then he fell out of favor.
Yeah, I think you guys are missing it on Goff, and I think those receivers are going to be well groomed by Matt Stafford coming out. They're going to be used to that guy putting the ball on them, and a conservative quarterback, they'll be in the right place. He'll be very productive.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go Vikings since there's not much to talk about. I mean, Skull. These guys.
Another terrible team in the NFC.
They're pretty
West.
much set on offense, man. And I don't think there's much that they could have done in the offseason. You have your running back in place. You got some decent wideouts. You have some really good wideouts in place. They re-signed Chad Beebe, who's been a guy that's flashed a little bit. I think the biggest move for them was not keeping Kyle Rudolph in the fold. And it allows Irv Smith to maybe take a role here where he can get those end zone targets, and he was pretty efficient last year with those.
Yeah.
And maybe he takes a step, but there's not much to talk about with them. They really, I think, tried to load up on their defense, which I think was a little bit of an issue for them, which is the first time in a while that they've had that issue. And we know Coach Zimmer is a guy that's a defensive coach, and he that's his deal. So, there's not really much to talk about. I think it's another big year.
Well, to
for
me,
the
it's
running
easy,
back
like
and
the 3, right?
Jefferson. You might be talking about 4 now.
Yeah, but to
But
me, it's
3,
Cook,
it's Cook,
Jefferson.
Thielen, and Jefferson.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Hands
I've
down.
been waiting for that.
And you're hoping that
Looked on a Thielen.
you're hoping that Irv Smith finally breaks out, because last year was supposed to be his breakout year, and it never really happened. But over a short time frame, towards the end of the season, he showed that he can be a capable receiver. Yeah. Now, I don't believe they haven't re-signed Thielen as of yet,
No,
right?
that's what I was going to say.
No, they haven't, but I still think it's
So imagine they allow Thielen to walk. I think Irv Smith, if he's going to shine, this would be the time for him to do it, because with Thielen gone, that puts him in line for second line share in targets, right behind Jefferson. And we've discussed it. Like, Jefferson's going to blow up again. I think Jefferson just looks like that. He looked like a consummate professional already in his rookie year.
But what is your evaluation of Smith with Thielen there? Because I think that Thielen will be there.
I think to me, if somebody wanted him,
he would have been gone.
He would have been gone. So he'll sign a smaller contract than he wants to stay where
I think that's the only thing in the way right now.
So Thielen's been there longer, obviously knows the system, and has been very, very capable of producing in the system.
With him.
Yeah. I think Thielen then takes the majority of targets away from Smith. So I think the pecking order is going to be Jefferson. I think Jefferson's going to see the most targets, Thielen, and then Smith. Cook's going to, but you're already allotting targets to Cook. You're already giving, he's got a set game plan. if anybody's game plan is set for the season, they probably already have every time they're going to run Dalvin Cook and every time they're going to pass the ball out of the backfield to Dalvin Cook already in the books. They know when they're going to Dalvin Cook. I mean, that's the guy there, right?
So, Anton, what do you think about like your players? Would you go same as us, Cook, Jefferson? Do you like Cousins? Because no one's talking Cousins here.
I don't. And for no other reason other than what has he done for me lately?
Yeah.
Quite frankly, and I'm with Mark. So Jefferson, Thielen, and Cook. I mean, those are the easy sort of just easy picks for me right there.
Yeah,
I like Matt for you better.
That's actually
You're more of a Matt.
That's my brother.
really?
I have a brother, Matt.
Mark,
Yeah,
Matt,
that's funny.
Luke, and John.
Mark
What
and
about
Matt.
Luke and John?
Cousins.
Yeah. I see. To me, it's shocking to me the lack of respect that Cousins gets.
Yeah, I think. Well, he had a stretch last year where
He
he
did.
was great.
Yeah, there was a stretch where I picked him up and ran with him because one of my quarterbacks was hurt and he produced.
I would take Cousins over Goff right now.
No way.
Age and
No.
everything. Yeah,
I don't know.
Are we talking football or fantasy?
Time will tell.
Fantasy.
So fantasy, I think they're in the same tier, but football, I take Cousins.
Cousins
Not
to
even
me.
think twice about it.
Cousins to me is an
seeing
older,
Cousins
less
thrive.
mobile Baker Mayfield.
But I've seen Cousins.
He's gonna
thrive
throw
in
up some
two different-
stinkers. I
two
mean, he's just
different
gonna do it.
systems. I mean, Goff looked. I mean, I'm just.
Wow, that's
comparing
a
it to Goff,
that's a
but
terrible. Like that's honestly a shot to Baker Mayfield right there. I'm joking. I like Cousins. I think he's a decent quarterback.
he is. He's a middle. Yeah. I mean, he's solid.
I've never seen somebody so pumped up to prove his critics wrong. Though you ever
I mean,
you see those sound
listen.
bites of him like when
Yeah.
they who you doubting? I'm the man here. You know.
I mean,
it's-
look at his. I mean, he was drafted behind RG3 same year.
Took the job,
Took the job. You know, now partly because
and
of
he was
injury.
good. He was good at Michigan State. You know, I know you don't want to hear that, but he was good
no,
at
no,
Michigan
no,
State.
no. He was good. He was
He took the job from a RG3 who was a stud. Yeah, although it was after an injury, but he still took the job. Goes to another team and he plays well. The first year was a little up and down, but he's played well for them.
And he signed a huge. I mean, talk about a guy who signed 100. He did a lot with little. Signed what, $150 million contract.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't even imagine that.
and I love the
Anton,
sound
what
bites.
was your biggest contract you signed?
Yeah, let's get in his pocket.
5.
$5 million.
Yeah. It was before we had a collective bargaining agreement, so I was in the no man land years where we didn't have an agreement.
Yeah.
Oh,
now,
wow.
And then
now
2 years later, the same salary.
for the most
tripled.
important players in the league, they are
Triple.
continually disrespected when it comes to contracts.
Well-
man. I say every year, like everyone's always gung ho on these, these flashy quarterbacks, these wide receivers coming out of college. Shit, man, protect the quarterback you got now. Take these big offensive linemen because every year there's only a handful that are really legitimate studs that come out.
Yep.
Scoop them up and pay them.
That's fair, but I mean, I would say about the wide receivers, but the quarterback you have to pay because if you don't have the quarterback, you don't need the lineman.
the bad thing
Yeah,
about a
tell that to
quarterback
Achilles
is
Actually, I
Smith.
disagree with
Tell
that. because
that to-
let's talk about Tua. Tua
Yeah.
had the line. What is he doing when he doesn't have
That's
the same
fair.
line?
Well, if the
I mean,
quarterback
I
can't
just
play.
think if you can't protect him, that's it. I mean, if you can't protect him, I don't give a shit who
Let's talk
it
about
is.
Jamarcus Russell.
fair.
Let's talk about Achilles Smith. Let's talk about Ryan Leaf. Let's talk about all these high drafted quarterbacks that are absolute busts. But you draft a stud offensive lineman. You don't see very many bust stud offensive linemen.
It's like, to me, Cincinnati is going to go offense. We know.
Yeah.
If they drafted the lineman from Oregon,
Yeah, what's his name?
Panay,
Peni, yeah.
that guy is going to play in the league for 12 to 15 years. They could literally put a cornerstone on the offensive line to protect Burrows
Yeah.
for
Well,
his
see,
career.
in that situation, it makes sense. But I wasn't trying to disrespect the lineman. I'm
No,
saying
no, you were disrespecting him.
No, I
Completely
wasn't. I'm trying to
disrespecting.
say an offensive lineman, I think, is easier to evaluate. I think it's much harder to evaluate a quarterback. I'm saying if you don't have the Joe Burrows in there,
Yeah.
then what do you draft a left tackle for?
Yeah.
See, I disagree.
You got
I
to
just
get the
think, like,
quarterback
To
before the tackle.
protect your guy. Because look at Taylor
But
Heineke.
if you have Taylor Heineke, I'm not
Taylor
drafting a left
Heineke.
tackle.
but
I'm drafting another quarterback.
but a guy who can produce when he's 30 years old. I mean, everyone thought, what the hell is this Heineke guy?
Look at
Produced
Joe
for- and I
Burrow.
like Heineke. He produced for 2 games.
Look at Joe Burrow in a different system. Say at LSU.
Yeah.
Is he really Joe Burrow if he's not at LSU in that
No,
system?
probably not.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like he was third at Ohio State. He was a third quarter. That's why he left.
Right.
And then when he went to LSU, they were like, we don't know about this Joe Burrow guy. And then he had his breakout year.
That's true.
To me, when you put a quarterback in a situation where he's well protected, that's why Tua went so far up. That's what I mean.
Yep.
When you surround a quarterback with so many great players, look at what Tom Brady did. Let's talk about the GOAT, right? When Tom Brady went to Tampa, what's the first thing they did? They built shit around him.
That's
you know
fair.
What I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying Tom Brady's not the GOAT. He is the GOAT.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying
he's not. But
you have to build things around these guys. They're not just all that by
No,
themselves.
and I agree with
Okay.
you. I'm not saying that the quarterback
Tim
is all
Cobb.
that without him. Hold on, forget that. Let me make my point. Because
Hang
we
on a
go back
second.
and
He's
forth.
trying to dig himself out of this hole.
No, I'm not digging the hole. I'm saying at the same point. My point is not that the quarterback doesn't need the offensive lineman
Hit 'em.
at all.
Hit
They
'em.
need each other. It's a chicken and an egg argument. What I'm saying is that
You've got a dirty horse.
There it is.
if I think which one do you need first though?
So
That's my point.
here's what I think.
So now,
I'll give. Go ahead.
real quick. So now, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I have Tony Romo, I have the line already there. Then I could go draft Dak Prescott in the third round and let him succeed. But if I don't have the whole line in place built and I don't have the quarterback, who am I going for first? The left tackle or the quarterback? What's the priority?
You got to have the nucleus of the team. So
nucleus to you is the line,
so
not the
goes the line.
quarterback.
So goes the team.
That's
because
fair.
it also affects the running backs. It affects the receivers. It affects everybody.
look at
Because if you don't
Mayfield
have
last
time-
year.
even if you have a
Mayfield
great
with a
quarterback-
line last year was
That's
different
fair.
than the year before.
But you
with
had
no line.
Mayfield though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
If you had Cody Kessler there with that line, are you guys
But look
going
at
to the playoffs?
Look at what we're saying about Mac Jones.
Probably.
First thing we say about Mac Jones is look at the offensive line. He's playing behind that line. We all are attributing Mac Jones's success to that line.
all right, Anton, we're gonna have you finish up. Give me one last statement about lineman or quarterback.
So here it is in a nutshell. I think a very, very good offensive line can make an average quarterback look great.
So
But a terrible-
every Chicago quarterback ever.
But a terrible
Basically.
offensive line will make the best quarterback look horrible.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to end that, and we're going to go on to the Packers and let Anton continue to spit some logic.
The Green Bay Packers. So the Packers were very quiet as well. So not a whole lot happening this year with the Packers, but they did re-sign Aaron Jones, which is a big re-signing. I mean, this guy has done it all. He was a fifth-round compensatory pick in 2017, and now he's number 6 in history of running backs from yards per carry. So this was a huge signing for them. It was very, very smart for the Packers to secure him. They still have, obviously, Aaron Rodgers secured. Outside of that, very, very minimal signings that they've had in the offseason. They did re-sign Kevin King, which I think is extremely good, but they're probably going to look to have another corner sometime in the draft, probably mid to late round, and probably look for another offensive tackle to protect that quarterback.
That they have.
They need it, and hopefully they'll get him another wide receiver too. I
He
still
needed
think,
another wide out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so then who do you go? Who are the three that
You can put lipstick on a pig and it's still a pig.
who?
God, this hate is real, man.
Okay, I'll go first to dissuade that hate.
Oh.
It's easy. Aaron Rodgers,
Boo.
Devontae Adams,
Bigger boo.
Aaron Taylor,
Aaron Taylor, who is that? Your boyfriend?
Aaron Jones.
Done. Game over.
Aaron Jones, maybe Tanyan, maybe, but it's the three.
Yeah, that's fair.
You guys agree?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, there goes my voice again. But yeah, that's the.
Would you take Rodgers, or is your hate?
Given the opportunity, I would draft exactly 0 Green Bay players.
all right. So, but if you had to,
I wouldn't. I would never have to. At gunpoint, I'm taking the bullet.
this is cutting off your nose despite your face. I mean,
He's going to lose a $350,000
Because he doesn't want to draft Aaron Rodgers.
Pick your team with your head, not with your heart.
This
Yeah.
is true. So obviously you got to go Devontae Adams, right? So
Yeah.
Devontae Adams, just sheer volume coming from Aaron Rodgers, who is one of the better quarterbacks to ever play the game.
that's one of the best.
So he's better than Brady.
So I think as a quarterback, yeah.
I said one of the better. Dude, don't make me. I'm going to have
I know
acid
you don't.
reflux just saying this again. One of the better quarterbacks
Suck
to
it down,
ever play the
swallow
game.
it, and
so I'm giving
digest.
him a lot of
Bud Light.
kudos.
Suck
So
one.
you got to go Devontae Adams hands down. Then I'm going Aaron Jones, and then Rodgers, because
That took you a long time.
You heard
to
that,
say
right?
exactly what we said.
I know it's because I
should've
I
said
zone
ditto.
out when you talk about
Ditto.
Green Bay,
Oh my
man.
God!
But
All right.
no, so to put the fantasy spin on it, though, to put the fantasy spin just in relevance to ADP. So Adams is going first round, early second. Jones, same thing after the re-signing because there were just so many touches, 300 and some touches to give in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And then Rodgers, because you're not putting the emphasis on the quarterback early in these drafts, you're going to get Rodgers somewhere around, those middle rounds where you're drafting him as your first quarterback.
All right, so real quick, just for dynasty leagues, guys that drafted A.J. Dillon, this has got to kill you. I mean,
this definitely kills you. You should see.
It sucks. I drafted him last year.
A.J. Dillon in best ball leagues before Jones was signed was going like second, third round. Those people are
he's a solid running back.
And
he's a solid running back.
To wrap them up, who we got our three, I think, right? Did you say? Yeah.
I did.
So if we were to pick one of the secondary receivers to kind of break out or be a guy we could play in flex this year, we got Lazard, we got Valdez-Scantling, right?
Yeah, MVS.
Who?
I would say Scatling only because he seemed to be more consistent, but I think Lazard's got more talent.
Yeah, I think Lazard does too. And if it wasn't for that core muscle injury, I think we would have seen a lot more Lazard, and I think he would have been more productive and better prepared for the playoffs
So
as well.
who? Lazard too?
I would go
Scantling?
Scatling.
What about you?
Scantling.
I think I go Scantling just because the big play.
Yeah, he's consistent.
Especially as an option for flex, I would probably look at him there.
All right.
Yeah, A.J. Dillon, that sucks.
So we're going to wipe up the rear with the Bears.
Oh, there you
which
go.
Here we go. We're talking about America's team here, people. The NFC North. Cue the music.
Sorry, I was a
Oh,
lot
God,
delayed.
I was looking for something more.
Rocky's a little slow.
Running. So, all right. I think I'm.
Just put
I
the
think
board
I'm,
on the table, Rocky.
I think I'm composed again. I finally got over that Dan Campbell mishap. Now I know what it's like
forgive
to.
you.
Now I know what it's like to be wrong. That's the first time
You're like
ever.
a Dan
it's
Quinn
happened.
with hair.
It's the first time ever. That's
You're
what it's like.
biting kneecaps.
All right. So Chicago. It's for
Chicago.
me. For me in Chicago, it's not about who they brought in, but it's about who they shipped out. And here's why. You get rid of Trubisky, right? So you finally, you lick your wounds and say, shit, we should have drafted Mahomes. Shit, we should have drafted maybe not drafted Watson given the circumstance. Now, if they have as good of masseuses in Chicago as they do in Houston,
Oh, man,
maybe
that
you're maybe you're in the same boat. There it is. And then you get Trubisky and you trade it up for him. So you get him out of town. You finally admit that you were wrong there. You bring in Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket. He did well in Cincinnati for a couple of years, and he was serviceable last
Talk
year in
yourself
Dallas.
into it.
Listen, dude, I'm not excited about having Dalton in Chicago, but I mean, you ain't got much to be excited about when you just
fair.
got over
Finally.
Trubisky.
I'm speaking some truth here.
I mean, we've had shitty quarterbacks, man, forever. Even our best quarterback lately, Cutler, was still not a
What do you
great
draft
quarterback.
this year?
Where? 20. We were in the playoffs. We were 20th. So, and it's tough. And we're not in a position because we gave up so much to get
for
Trubisky.
Mac and Trubisky, yeah.
Yeah. So you get rid of Trubisky. Jimmy, although I think they just re-signed Jimmy Graham to a year, but I think the intention is still Cole Kmet. So Cole Kmet proved to be that awesome blocker and capable hands. And then it looks like they're trying to trade Anthony Miller out of town, which brings Darnell Mooney more into the picture.
Yeah.
So you have A-Rob, who they kept, not happy about the franchise tag. Hopefully he plays and he gives it his all. And hopefully Chicago rewards him with a giant contract because obviously the guy has been like the focal point. Now you bring Mooney into that second receiver position, who I think was a steal in the draft last year, and he's an absolute flyer, short hands and runs great routes. I think Mooney is a very capable second wide receiver. And now you bring Tariq Cohen back as well. If Tariq Cohen comes back to form as he was 2 years ago, that's going to be a very formidable backfield paired with Monty. And then you'll have, almost like a Cleveland backfield. You'll have Monty between the tackles, and you'll have Tariq out of the backfield, who was targeted 100+ times in the years when healthy.
Okay, so who do you guys think? Who are your three? Because this is a little tougher for me.
Yeah, it's a little tough, huh?
You
I
guys
think
are
you got to go A-Rob, of course.
tough. There's nothing tough.
Yeah, Allen Robinson for sure.
It's tough because you just don't know if Miller's going to get moved.
I feel like Game 6 of this next year, you're going to be waxing nostalgic for Trubisky.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
too.
you're going to be sad that Dalton's
But A-Rob, wow. What's the running back's name? I forgot his name.
Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery. I'll probably take Montgomery.
It's Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn, A-Rob, and I guess I would have to go Mooney if Miller gets traded. But if not, I would sign up for some Cole Kmet action. The only reason I don't put him 3 with that stipulation is because I think if Graham is there, he's still gonna maybe get some red zone targets.
Right.
I'm gonna go Montgomery, Allen Robinson, and I'm actually gonna go Kmet as a tight end because there's fewer good tight ends, and I think he might have some upside. Yeah. Anton, how about you?
I'm taking Montgomery, A-Rob, and I'm taking Dalton. And I'm taking Dalton
You
because,
like Dalton.
Well, here's why.
For a guy that was arguing against quarterbacks, this is the second time he took a quarterback as one of his 3. So,
so think about. Here's my logic, though. Mm-hmm. If you were the organization that made that decision to get rid of Trubisky, you're going to make damn sure this other guy works.
Yep.
Right. So you're going to go overboard trying to really sort of help him, sort of feed him, if you will, opportunities to succeed. Point. And I think there's going to be a lot of sort of easy wins that they're going to try to just sort of push his way to make sure they don't look stupid for making this move.
Well, and I like Dalton. I like Dalton as a person. I don't know if he's got anything left.
I think when they didn't re-sign Trubisky or take the option, I think they were thinking they were getting Russell Wilson too.
Yeah, or Deshaun Watson or somebody.
Yeah, I think they were in the market heavily. They thought they were going to get a guy.
Well, they did. They got the most coveted guy at the position that was available.
But they can't be wrong. And once again, we have to change the scenery.
Damn, son, where'd you find?
Okay, Mark, who do you take?
So my 3, obviously A-Rob. A-Rob is a playmaker on that team. I take Monty. Monty's going to get. I think he proved, especially down the stretch last year, he got the lion's share of the carries. He ripped off huge runs.
Yeah,
he had a great average and a lot of yards. And I'm rolling the dice on Tariq coming back. Again, this is premise, fantasy drafts, best ball leagues. You roll the dice with Tariq Cohen as like your 4th or 5th running back on your depth chart. If he comes back and immediately sees the targets that he was seeing per game and can turn them into some consistent play, you're going to have a guy that's going to be able to put up some numbers that might fill in for one of your studs that gives you a dud, or even filling in for an injury.
So Montgomery's already at nickname status, huh?
Monty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
man.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know Monty?
No, I didn't. I never heard that before.
No? That's Monty, man.
Well, I got to tell you, I feel like we've kind of hit our flow. We really missed having Anton with us. If he would just quit his job and uproot his family,
should probably
move here for our fantasy show.
Seems like an easy decision.
He's so selfish.
Yeah,
I just can't understand.
I mean, sometimes you got to just take a risk. Don't be afraid to fly. Mark wore those sweatpants today. He did it.
Well, are you guys saying you're going to renew my contract?
Rocky's the money man, so
dude, we have like 155 subs, man. You'd be coming into something that's already mainstream.
Yeah,
this is a given.
Hey guys, listen to us on YouTube,
please,
or Apple, or any of the podcast formats. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on TikTok.
Ultimate Fantasy Locker Room. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, we need subscription.
Comment, please.
We need subs.
We need subs.
And
oh man, that's what I miss from Jersey. I miss some good Jersey subs.
Hey,
that Peloton's gonna be screaming when I get on it.
Yeah, in about 3 months. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Lackluster from the father, cause there's no relation.